The Girls Who Laugh Backward. Part 2. Mila! The woman on the bench called. The girl didn't react. Mila, come on now! The boy in the sand looked up. The girl held my gaze. I picked up the milk again. Did you hear me? The woman called. Now she stood up. She put the phone into her jacket pocket and walked toward the swing. The girl jumped down. As she passed me, she laughed a third time. This time I watched her mouth. Her lips opened too late. The sound was already there before her face moved to make it. I stepped back. The girl stopped. Up close I could see that the dark mark beneath her ear really was a scar. A short, pale line. What is it? The woman asked. She had reached us. She put a hand on the girl's shoulder and looked at me. Nothing, I said. Do you know my daughter? No. Then why are you staring at her like that? I looked at the girl. She wasn't smiling anymore. She laughed, I said. The woman waited. Children do that sometimes, she said. Of course. Mila, come on. The girl took her hand. They went back to the bench. The boy dropped the shovel and followed them. The woman pushed the stroller toward the park exit. Just before they reached the path, the girl turned around one more time. She raised her hand. Not to wave. She placed 2 fingers against the spot beneath her left ear. Then she walked on. I stood beside the playground for a while longer. The milk bottle was damp on the outside now. A drop ran over my hand and fell to the ground. I watched the empty swing. It moved slightly. There was no wind. I tucked the bottle under my arm and went home. My building was 8 minutes away. It took me almost 20. On the way I tried to reconstruct the laughter in my head. I broke it into separate parts. Exhale, note, 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 inhale. Maybe the girl simply had an unusual laugh. People laughed differently. Some laughed silently, some clapped their hands, some threw their heads back as if someone were pulling them from behind. Mr. Mertens laughed by breathing out through his nose 3 times in quick succession. Nika sometimes laughed with only one corner of her mouth. I didn't know how I laughed. There weren't many opportunities to check. Mr. Novak's cat was sitting outside my front door. Rudy was orange, fat, and old. Mr. Novak claimed he wasn't fat, only thick-furred. Rudy also had thick fur in summer. He sat on the bottom step and looked at me. Good morning, I said. Rudy moved on me his tail. I unlocked the front door. He didn't go inside, although he normally treated every open door as a personal invitation. Your choice, I stepped in. As the door fell shut behind me, I heard a short meow outside. The stairwell smelled of damp stone, cleaning fluid, and the food of the family on the 2nd floor. Someone cooked cabbage often. Maybe nobody cooked cabbage and the building itself smelled that way. I climbed the stairs and counted the steps. 14 to the first landing, 13 to the second, 14, 13. On the 3rd floor I heard a sound behind me. I stopped. Nothing. I kept going. When I reached my apartment door I heard it again, a quiet inhale. I turned around. The stairwell was empty. A door slammed downstairs. I unlocked my apartment and went in. Only after I had locked the door and turned the key twice, did I put the milk on the table. My apartment was warm and quiet. I opened the window onto the courtyard. Rudy was sitting below, outside the front door. He wasn't looking up at me. He was staring at a point beside the garbage bins. No one was there. I took off my shoes, lay down on the bed, and closed my eyes. The girl laughed again inside my head, first the ending, then the beginning. I sat up. No, I said. No one answered. I went into the kitchen, took the new milk out of my bag, and put it in the refrigerator. There was barely any room beside the open bottle. I pushed a jar of mustard toward the back. Then I stood in front of the small mirror above the sink. My face really did look gray. I opened my mouth. I tried to laugh. At first only air came out. Then a dry sound that was more like a cough. I tried again. This time I forced out 3 short notes. They didn't sound forward or backward. They sounded dead. I pictured the girl on the swing, the mouth that hadn't moved until the sound had already begun. I breathed out. Then I tried to make the end of a laugh first, a soft exhale. Then the giggle. Finally, the sharp intake of breath. It didn't work. I coughed and held on to the sink. In the mirror, I saw my face. Behind me was the open kitchen door. Beyond it, my bed. Beyond that, the wall. Nothing else. I turned on the faucet and drank straight from my hand. When I looked up again, my reflection was smiling. I wasn't. It lasted maybe less than a second. Maybe it had only been a movement of my mouth, an after-image, exhaustion, light. Then everything was normal again. I stayed in front of the mirror. That was nothing, I said. My reflection moved its lips at the same time as I did. I went to the bed and drew the curtains. Before I fell asleep, I thought about the woman at the playground. Children do that sometimes, she'd said. I didn't know why that sentence was supposed to reassure me. Just before I fell asleep, I heard a girl laughing in the courtyard. This time the sound began with a sharp intake of breath. Then came the bright notes. At the very end, the exhausted exhale followed. Normal. I lay in the dark and waited to feel relieved. Then I realized it had been played backward. The wrong sound.